What is going on YouTube and the Viper Den? It is DViper0020 here, aka Doug, and today I got you another Guess the Grade video and another Friends Guess the Grade video. So my friends Ben and Dan, they both have a few cards that they wanted me to check out and send in for them. So let's see. There's some spicy cards in here, so definitely check this out, guys. Here we go. Alright, let's just get right into this. We've got Ben's cards first. We've got 3 cards from each. We got Ben first. Let's just get right into Ben's. Here we go. Alright, the first card is Charizard V. Now, with this card, I'm sure everybody is probably looking at it the same way that I'm looking at it. This card, right away, centering. Centering's the issue with this card. Other than centering, though, like, there are no scratches on this thing. Like, it is very clean. I don't think there are any weird... The back centering is actually pretty solid. But I don't think there's any weird things with this card other than centering on the front. And because of that, I had to slap a 9.5 on it. I don't think centering's bad enough to lower it to a 9, but 9.5 is what I think we're going to get on this one. So, very solid number. And it's a Zard. Who doesn't love a Zard, right? Alright, moving on to Ben's next card. We've got a Toxtricity VMAX Shiny. Pull this up. Overall, this card is in very good shape. I don't think there's any like weird scratching or anything like that on it, on the front. You can see the centering on this thing is actually very good on the front. From left to right, I feel like it's good. It might favor the right a little bit, but overall centering is very good. I think this is a contender. The back, I put that it was a slightly skewed centering. So maybe, oh, actually, I can see it with my eye. Let's see if the camera picks it up. I don't know, it's actually harder to see now that I'm looking at it on camera. It's harder to see than when I was actually looking at it with like flashlights and everything. But there's that, and then I said something about there being a slight scratch, maybe? I don't see any scratches though. Not on the camera. I don't know, I said something about there being slight scratches. This is... I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it on camera. Hopefully whoever's grading it doesn't see what I saw. But, I don't know, this one is actually in super good shape. I don't think, aside from like that tiny bit of like the centering being like slightly skewed, or whatever you want to call it, like I think this card is actually in super good shape. I'm gonna say it could be a 10, but I'm gonna go with the conservative 9.5. If it's a 10, I'm gonna be psyched, and I won't think that it's too crazy that it is a 10, but I'm gonna say it's a TGA 9.5. Alright, and moving on to Ben's last card. This card, Ben is, he's got a very nice vintage collection. I actually did a little review on his binder with all the vintage cards that he has. And I know he loves Pidgeot, alright? And I went through that binder and I just started looking at some of the old cards that he had. And I couldn't help but notice Pidgeot. This thing is, for a card that's 20 plus years old, this thing is in great shape. I said there are some slight scratches, some surface scratching, and there is a little bit of whitening on it. But, I mean, we'll be able to see in the holo, there are a little bit of scratch. There are some scratches, but it's really not bad at all. Like, overall, look at, like, yeah, you can see scratching on that side, but for, again, a 20-year-old card, that's not even, like, that's really good. I can't say that's not even bad. Like, that's almost pack fresh type stuff. Like, that's super good. And then overall the front, I think it looks very good. Centering might be pushed to the left a little bit, And then on the back, I said that there was slight small whitening, I guess. Yeah, okay, I see a little bit. Push that up. Let me actually grab the blacklight for you. You can probably see the two little specks that I see, but there's one on the left, and then the bottom there. Favors the left side on the bottom. But those, and then I guess the corner has a slight bit of whitening, but like, I mean, again, 20-plus-year-old card, like, this thing is in great shape. I went really conservative on my guess here, but I might change that. I think I am gonna change it. I said that this one was gonna get an 8.5. I went conservative on it. I can't even say words. I said it was gonna get an 8.5. However, I'm gonna bump it up. I think that this could. There's a little bit of, like, not whitening, but you can see the hollow right there on this one. I was gonna say I was gonna bump the card up to a 9. I don't know if I can. Can we get a 9 out of this thing? Can we get a 9 out of this thing? This is actually really tough. I don't know if we'll be able to get a 9. I'm gonna be hopeful that we get a 9, but I'm gonna slap an 8.5 on it. Oh, and real quick before we move on, one cool thing about this card that I noticed, I didn't notice it until after I was done, like, really looking it over. Where's the jungle symbol? Where's the jungle symbol? It's not there. I thought that was pretty neat. I don't know how common it is to have, like, an error card with no jungle symbol. Like, I know jungle has its fair share of, like, weird stuff, but I didn't realize this until after the fact. But this is a jungle card. You have the 64 cards in the set and everything, and it doesn't have the jungle symbol, so I thought that was kind of neat. Alright, now we're going to move right into Dan's cards. Now, Dan has some good ones. We'll start off with Blastoise! Blastoise from base set. So on these cards, Dan, he's got a very good old collection as well. But you can tell he was young when he had them. Plenty of scratches on these cards, as you're going to see. Like you can see in the holo foil. There's some scratching. There's some wear, you know, stuff like that. It's 20 plus years old, right? But they're still in good shape, you know? They're not completely beat up. The edges aren't terrible, but they're not great. And you can see the whitening. Like, that's not terrible for a 20-plus-year-old card. I know, personally, I had some cards when I was younger that were beat. So these actually aren't that bad. Just to give you a quick glimpse into the back, like, you can see the whitening. Pretty good. Pretty good on that. But with the whitening, with the surface scratching, and the corners on the card, I mean, the corners basically just more whitening is what I mean by corners. I said that Blastoise is going to get a TGA 8. Now, this could be conservative as well, which hopefully it is. Hopefully it gets an 8.5. I don't know. But I just try to be somewhat conservative when it comes to guessing the grades. So TGA 8 on the Blastoise. Let's move on to the next one. Charizard. Of course we've got a Charizard in here. And if you guys didn't get it, we've got the thing. We got the big three. We'll get to Venusaur in a second, but let's start off with Charizard first. As much as I want this thing to have a amazing grade, be in the slab, and just looking super fresh, it's a little rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie. However, I was very surprised with the last Guess the Grade I did with some vintage cards for my friends. They didn't grade quite as harshly as I thought they would, so keep that in mind with what my grade guesses are, okay? But, let's look here. The holofoil it's scratched, but it's not, like, crazy scratched, but it's definitely scratched. The side here, I don't know. Okay, you can kind of pick it up there. You've got, like, the hollow whitening, if you will, the hollowing. You got that on this side, and then, I mean, I think you can see it a little bit on the bottom left too. It's hard to tell, but you got, like, that hollow whitening, if you will, on the front. And then the back, I mean, it's pretty standard with a 20-year-old card, right? Looking similar to what Blastways looked. Got the whitening bottom edge obviously being the worst. Whitening on the sides. Hit it with a quick black light. Yeah, you can see. We can see that there's some whitening. So with that, with the surface scratching, the whitening, the corner whitening, everything like that, for this Charizard, I've got to go with a TGA 7.5. If it comes back a little better, I'm super excited about that. But I think a 7.5 is a pretty decent spot for this card. All right, and then our final card, we've got the Venusaur to finish off the big three. Venusaur, it's gonna be pretty similar as far as like the other cards go. The other two go. This Venusaur, I feel like the surface scratches aren't quite as bad, or maybe it's just because Venusaur is so much bigger in the hollow. You can see there are some scratches, but not that bad. Really not that bad. And then the front of the card overall, very good shape. I think centering's pretty solid. Centering is solid on this card. But the back, so the back's kind of different on this one. You've got see if we can see it. You've got almost like those creases at the top. You can see what I'm talking about. Kind of weird. Got those creases, and then right above the N and Pokemon on the top, like top right corner, it almost looks like it's like whitening right there. Not actually whitening, but like it's just like faded slightly. So those are the two marks against it. And then there is a little bit of whitening on the edges and corners, but it's not that bad. It's just like I said, you can see what I'm talking about, like that wear right there. And then the corner, the top right corner, and they're just little whitening specks around the borders of the cards. But with that in mind, with the surface scratching, with, again, not that bad. The whitening, and then that little like mark in the top right on the back, I'm gonna say that this Venusaur is gonna get a TGA 8. So it would be pretty cool if it comes back better, but I think that like weird mark on the back is gonna kind of affect that. And then just the other marks that I have against it. But yeah, I think overall, for being true vintage cards that Dan had in his hand as a kid, and you can tell like he was showing them off as a kid, and I don't blame him, I would too. I think that the 8s and the 7.5s, I think those are very, very good good grades for these vintage cards. True vintage cards. So on that note, guys, there we go. We've got 6 very nice cards that are going to be sent into TGA, gonna get graded, and you guys are gonna see it right now. I gotta wait for a little while, but let's check out the actual results. Here we go.
A few moments later.
Alright, anyway guys, let's get into it. We can finally start doing the Guess the Grade reveals. These cards are, I have 3 for my friend Ben, and 3 for my friend Dan. Here we go. We are starting this off with my friend Ben. We've got his slab. He's got a Charizard V. Oh yeah, OGD, you're waiting with me. You are waiting with me. We've got Charizard V from Darkness Ablaze. This card is in very good condition. I think the only thing that could ding us on it would be centering. So I put a 9.5 on it. And honestly, the centering didn't look too bad. Maybe a little bit to the left on the back, but it does not look bad. Let's see what we got here. We're not gonna waste too much time on this, but let's see. Do we got a 9.5? We've got a 9. No, my guessing's starting to suck. We've got the orange label, hollow label though, to go with it, which looks super good. I mean, a Charizard and a slab, you can't go wrong, right? Looks super, super good. I think the orange actually looks incredible with this. Although I think Ben might have told me to choose whatever color I think goes with the card well. So I guess I could just say I did a good job picking them out, right? Let's see what we got next. We've got the Toxtricity VMAX. This one also, I put a 9.5. I think this is the strongest contender for a 9.5. The centering would be the only issue with it, which, again, looks very good. I'm not going to sit here and investigate them too hard, but let's see. Do we get a 9.5 on the Toxtricity Shiny VMAX? A 9.5 with the pink label, the hollow pink label, to go with that pink boy. I mean, if it was a little darker shade of pink, it'd go with him a little bit better, but I think it still looks very, very good with that Toxtricity. I think the pink label in general just is a really, really good color. I know that sounds kind of weird to say, but I think the pink label in general looks really, really good on these TGA slabs. So, solid though. A 9 and a 9.5, and Ben has one more card. This one I'm excited about because we've got a vintage Pidgeot from Jungle, but if you notice, there's no jungle symbol on this Pidgeot. But what I said for this one, I said we're looking at an 8.5 because there are slight surface scratches and small whitening. And then also it's an error card, so it's pretty interesting because of that. But I said we're looking at 8.5. It's an 8.5. I called it. I called it right on the money. This is the hollow yellow label, which looks okay. And yeah, the hollow symbol misprint. That's actually cool the way that they put that on there. I like that. That's really cool. I want more. I want more cards like this. And this is actually the first yellow label I've gotten. I don't think I've gotten a yellow label on any of my own cards, so that's kind of nice. Alright guys, we're going to get into more vintage. This is for my friend Dan. We've got 3 cards here. You can see, before we even reveal this, these cards, they were his when he was a kid. There's whitening on them. I'm kind of curious to know what these are actually going to come back as, because these are a little different for me. I don't normally go with older cards that have wear. I normally have like pack fresh stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how well I do. Okay, so for Blastoise, I put that we're going to get an 8 on this one because there's some surface scratches, whitening in the corners, okay? So, do we get an 8? Do we get an 8? Am I a good guesser? We got a 7.5. I knew it was going to be, you know, we're on the edge. But we'll take it. We'll take a 7.5. I'm sure Dan's going to be excited about that. And, I mean, it's a vintage. It's a base set unlimited Blastoise. That's dope. With a hollow blue label. Super cool. And it's preserved now. His childhood Blastoise is preserved now. Alright, and next, you already know, we've got the Zard. Now, the Zard, it's a little bit worse for wear than the Blastoise was. This one is, I said it was going to be at a 7.5 because of some surface scratching, whitening in the corners, but it's a little more than what the Blastoise had. So we'll see if it's actually a 7 since that's 0.5 off on the Blastoise, or if we actually do retain that guess at a 7.5. So here we go. Do we got a 7.5 on the Zard? We got a 7, so I am 0.5 off again. But again, this one had some, it's hard to tell with the plastic and in the slab, but there are some scratches, a decent amount of scratches on the hollow itself. The corners were, yeah, okay, on the back you can really tell. Yeah, so, you know, it's a well, you know, aged card. A well-aged card, but it's still a Zard from base set and a beautiful TJ slab as a 7. Alright, and now to finish off the trifecta, the last card for Dan, we've got the Venusaur from base set. This one, same story. This one I said an 8. It could be even lower than that because there's some surface scratching, a little bit of whitening, and then I actually wrote that there was a back right top white. Let's look at this real quick. Okay, I do remember this one. Right there, it's like worn off a little bit of like white on the card. So, and then there's some stuff in the plastic, but so I think that's gonna ding us. But will it ding us past an 8, lower than an 8, or are we gonna sit an 8? We got a 7.5. I was 0.5 off on every single one of Dan's cards here. I said the Blastoise is gonna get an 8, got a 7.5. I said the Charizard is gonna get a 7.5, I got a 7. The Venusaur, 8, got a 7.5. But that is not bad. That is not bad, guys. Base set unlimited for my friend Dan. Beautiful Venusaur 7.5. Beautiful Charizard with a 7. And a beautiful Blastoise with a 7.5. And tell me those labels don't just... Chef's kiss. Tell me. Tell me those aren't beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed what you've seen, please smash that like button as always. If you're not already subbed, definitely subscribe to the channel. Go up here, all my socials. Follow me there. I'd appreciate it very much as well. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you on the next one. We'll have some more guest grades coming. Bye!